Sanje Joda Zoge Chonamla, Janjo Bado Dane Yasu Che, Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam, Tola Benjira Sanje Jubare Sho, Sanje Joda Zoge Chonamla, Janjo Bado Dane Yasu Che, Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ye, Tola Benjira Sanje Jubare Sho, Sanje Joda Zoge Chonamla, Chanjo Bardo Dane Yazoje, Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamge, Drola Penjera Sanje Jobare Sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tejam Dathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vate Mahashramana Yeswaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vate Mahashramana Yeswaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Chayo Niroda Evam Vate Mahashramana Yeswaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Deyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Next foundation of all good qualities. Okay, the foundation of all good qualities says, yes, the people who practice the Dharma on a daily basis, for them, I would suggest that if you can read this, the composition, just 14 verses on a daily basis, remembering or the reflection on the meanings, that will be extremely helpful for us. That will help us leave the imprint in the mind to see the broad picture of the, like the highway to enlightenment, the broad picture, the comprehensive broad picture, the way in future lifetimes we will not fall prey to the misguided instructions or misguided paths. So this is one thing. For those of us who find it difficult to practice Dharma more extensively, for them also, even if you want to make it very short, like 10 minutes a day, is fine. But I would highly recommend you to include this, and this foundation of all good qualities will take like 2.5 minutes, not more. And if you can do the 2.5 minutes reflect on meanings, it really will serve a great purpose for you. And somebody who may be doing practice, but without this, the comprehensive picture of the path, doing for like so many hours a day, or people who are just reading, without reflecting meanings, versus somebody who just spent about like 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes reading this, but reflecting meanings, perhaps you may acquire more benefit, more merit. So this is what I would highly recommend all of us. In fact, I personally, of course, I do it on a daily basis in Tibetan, so that would be wonderful. Okay. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind of perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous, non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and indefinite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great question arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the Pratimaksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all other migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in Supreme Bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 times of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows of great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified part of Kamabhari special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gate of the fortunate ones, the supreme Rajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishment to attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pleasure like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, with the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed noble paths and the spiritual friends who practiced their long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my life is never separated from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualitative stages of the path, may could attain the state of Vajratara. Okay, the handout in English is page 208. And what I've been on a daily, what I've been emphasizing so much on what is known as the liberating path, which is wisdom of emptiness, and particularly in this life. And let us try best to get some understanding of what emptiness is, to get some experience, and to see that what I'm seeing is not reality. And what I'm seeing is all just coming from my mind. And of course, when we say what is coming from my mind, it is various, again, there are many layers there. But at least if you get some idea that, okay, what I'm seeing is actually coming from mind, from the object, there's nothing there as such. If you get some understanding of this, then you see that your mind will take a turn. From where, you see that if something is there physically, what we call a success, I'm fine. When this is not there, then my life is just horrible. It's just meaningless. So this is what many people think. So this will disappear. that yes, unfortunate things can happen to us. And that, say, what you see as other people who are very successful, you may see that you are not successful. And oftentimes we are deceived by the appearance. The people appear as very successful, but inside there are so many conflicts, complications. The wealth, what you see is, oh, he's very rich, she's very rich. But inside, with the wealth, there's so much of fights going in the legal issues that are here. It's a huge headache. You don't see those things. And then somebody who is very powerful. Oh, he's very powerful. She's very powerful. Behind there's so much of competitions and so much aversion, anger, hatred towards various groups. So we say that with every success, only with the success of bodhicitta, all these side effects are not there. Bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, these side effects are not there. Otherwise, all other what we call is the success. Oh, that family is so happy. Husband, wife, children, the children very now educated and the nice job, decent job, very kind towards the parents, and parents, the husband, wife, they're also very loyal to each other. Yes. In the convention sense, this is so nice. But, so where the more success, the mundane success is such that when it collapses, the pain is so acute. The loss of somebody who you identify as a child and who, in the convention sense, is considered as very educated, decent, rose to such a high position with a decent job and so forth. If something happens, something bad happens to this, yes, one day it'll happen. When something bad happens, then you'll be just shattered into pieces. Your mind is simply shattered into pieces. So this is samsara. This is samsara. So where, say, the success is marked on the basis of the physical appearance. And you are successful, there's a problem. You are not successful, there's a problem. There's no third choice. You should be either successful or not successful. There should be only two choices of samsara. Your success, there's a problem. There's a downfall. No success, you always feel envious of the people who you call as successful. Always you are unhappy. So how to get out of this problem? So one thing is, if you see that what I'm seeing, success, non-success, they're all just coming from my mind. Not just a belief. Not just, oh, my teacher said like this, or somebody said like this, or the book said like this. No, you should get conviction. At least the minimum. There are so many layers there, but the first layer, what I'm seeing is not the reality. When it is non-real, that things operate, good, bad, all these things separate, but what I'm seeing is not the reality. So this will greatly help us to keep us so calm and peaceful. Finally, the outcome is how my mind behaves. So your mind will become very calm and peaceful. You become very confident. What in the mundane sense we see as extremely painful, for you is very different. It's just nothing. It's total under control. So this is how you can grow yourself. And then you grow, people who are around you, your parents, your children, your husband, your wife, your brothers, sisters, your friends, they will see you as very different. They will see you as very confident. Under every situation is under your control, under his control, under her control. You can see that, people can see that, and they'll be inspired. So this is how you can benefit the beings. First, this is how you can benefit yourself and benefit others. This is so precious. So the wisdom of emptiness is extremely, extremely important. And this will give you the fearlessness. This will give you confidence. Alongside, we also need the joy, happiness. Happiness given to us by the extraordinary happiness. That's general happiness, just a cheesecake and this is just nothing. What beautiful sunshine after long foggy weather, right? That is just temporary. But a lasting joy and happiness under any situation where good things happen,
you feel the blessings of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the kindness of other people. When bad things happen, oh, look, how should I get out of this problem? This is something which is unexpected. This can come to me anytime in the future, worse than this. How to get out of this permanently? So this gave me the opportunity to reflect on how to get out of samsara completely. So bad things happen, you feel so joyous. Good things happen, you feel so joyous. In both cases, you see, good things happen, yes, everybody feels joyous. Bad things happen, you see this opportunity for you to grow. You feel joy. You say that, okay, you get the opportunity. You get the opportunity to travel all around. Or you get the opportunity to meet with the Sons of the Dalai Lama. Everybody will be so joyous. So this meeting with a bad situation, that gives us the opportunity for us to grow. So, again, we feel so joyous. So the point is that this extraordinary joy comes to us from the unconditional love, the bodhicitta practice. So, and those of us who came later, who did not attend the bodhicitta class, and since the recording is available, and of course you have your own basic programs, and if there are people around Paris, I would highly recommend you to do the basic programs. It's already there, and with a teacher there. Otherwise, in most cases, by people, there's no choice other than to do the online program. For example, Tibet House, for the online, because of the lockdown, COVID, we shifted from the offline to online. Of course, there was the online before, but the online was more listening to recordings. Then we shifted to the online where the audience can interact with me. And so there, most of the people from Delhi, they are not in the online. Because for them, in person, they get this opportunity for in person. In comparison with in person, online on the screen, it is not that they say as good as the in person. So the people who find joy is those who always listen to the recording, not interactive, like Ajay and Delora, Ben, and Sophie. And so what I'm saying is that those people who do not get the chance to meet, for them always listening, just the recording, later on interactive, they come there. So Tibet House programs online, they are mostly non-Delhi. People from the outside Delhi who did not get the opportunity for the in-person classes. So yes, this is it. But when you actually get the opportunity, why these people in Delhi, they don't really prefer to come on the screen, is because they get the chance to do in person. So Paris, we see that there's a teacher there. So it's a great opportunity for you to actually interact with him, learn from him. And it's not necessary that you need to have time to have lunch, tea, everything with him. No, it's not necessary. Learning is important. So because there are so many people, how can one person spend so much time with everyone? So with the learning, just see that you can take the maximum the opportunity by attending, doing the basic programs. This is so beneficial. Okay, this one thing. So with this, then the wisdom of emptiness. Let's see how to grow the wisdom of emptiness, the bodhicitta. So these two things. So with this, for the wisdom of emptiness, we have here handout which the Venerable Jimbala so kindly translated to the initiative translating these. And to English, page 208. We'll read this together. The first passage I'll explain to you very quickly, and others, whenever I get the chance, I'll explain this. Otherwise, we'll just read through. The first passage is that the Buddha is comparing the two bodhisattvas. One bodhisattva who generated bodhicitta, who became bodhisattva for so many lifetimes, but still yet to realize emptiness. And another bodhisattva who just freshly became a bodhisattva yet all realize emptiness. So these two, the Buddha is comparing in terms of accumulation merit. So in a way, this is to indicate that the wisdom of emptiness is so important. So the Buddha compared the two and said that the one who has just become a bodhisattva, but with the wisdom of emptiness, the merit that this bodhisattva accumulates is far more than the merit accumulated by the bodhisattva who is yet to realize emptiness, but who have been bodhisattva for the last many, many lifetimes. What made the difference? The difference is whether or not you realize emptiness. If you realize emptiness, the merit that you engage in becomes much, much, much more multiplied. This is the benefit. Okay, let's read this. Together. Gift of Youth, Ratna Sutra. Manjushri, whoever listens even with doubt to this teaching on emptiness, generates much greater merit than a bodhisattva who, lacking skill means meaning with no wisdom of emptiness, practices the 6 perfections for 100,000 eons. This being so, what need is there to say anything about a person who listens to this teaching without doubt? What need is there to say anything about a person who imparts the scripture in writing, memorizes it, and also teaches it thoroughly and extensively to others? The treasure of the One Thus Gone Sutra. Any person who possessing all these 10 great non-virtues enters into the teaching of selflessness and has faith and conviction that all phenomena are from the beginning pure of true existence, does not go to a bad rebirth. Chapter on Subduing Devil Sutra. If any bhikshu realizes that all phenomena are absolutely passive out of inherent existence, and the beginning of defilements is devoid of self-nature, it will remove the guilt of having defilements and make unstable the defilements, thus deeming even the immeasurable negativities dysfunctional, let alone the secondary wrongs done associated with ethics and rituals. Arideva's 400 verses on middle way. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in the Dharma of ultimate reality. Should an inquiry ever arise in someone, it will shatter samsara into pieces. Acharya Chandrakriti's entry in the middle way. Even as an ordinary being, when hearing about emptiness, if one experiences with an utter joy again and again, tears flowing from such a pure joy moisten one's eyes, and one's hair stands on end, one has the seed of wisdom of full awakening. Upadhyaya Question Sutra. The various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling supreme golden abodes stand so alluring. For none of these is their creator, they are postulated by the power of thought. It is through the conceptualization that the world is imputed. Bhikkhuni Vajira's utterance and a fundamental the Vehicle Sutra. The mind is demonic, which views the true self. You have a wrong view. These composition aggregates are empty. There is no being in them. Just as one designates a car in dependence upon a collection of parts, so we assert a conventional sentient being independent upon aggregates. Venerable Shavara's writings. Searching for reality throughout space, one finds not the periphery nor the center. All perception cease completely. Likewise, through the thorough search of the mind and the phenomena, one finds not even an atom of essence. Since the searching mind is not found, not seeing anything is seeing the reality. Saint Saraha's writings. By entering into emptiness but devoid of compassion, one will not find the supreme path. By meditating upon compassion alone, one will not attain liberation but remain in samsara. The one capable of grasping the unity of the two will not remain in samsara nor abide in personal nirvana. King of Constitution Sutra. Just as in the dream of a young girl, she met with a boy and saw his death. Joyous was she at a meeting, and in anguish at his death, view all phenomena as thus. Aranagarjuna's fundamental wisdom in the middle way. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions leads to nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptual thought. These arise from mental elaboration grasping true existence. Elaboration ceases by or into emptiness. Neither the aggregates nor different from the aggregates. The aggregates don't depend on him, nor is he dependent on them. The Tathagata does not possess the aggregates. What is the Tathagata? That which dependent originates is posited to be empty of independent existence. That being dependently designated, this is the middle way. Since there is no phenomena that is not dependent originated, therefore there is no phenomena that is not empty. Aranagarjuna's precious garland. If the person is not earth, not water, not fire, not air, not space, not also consciousness, and not all of them, Where is the person out of those? Just as a person is not truly existent because of being an aggregation of their 6 elements, each element also is not truly existent as the aggregation of their own constituents. Dharma Samgiti Giri Sutra excerpt. Form is like a mass of form, feeling is like a water bubble, perception is like a mirage, mental formations are like plantain trees, consciousness like an illusion, so taught the Surya Mitra. Nagarjuna's commentary on Bodhicitta. Those who understand the emptiness of phenomena, yet also conform to the law of karma and ends results. That is more amazing than amazing, that is more wondrous than wondrous. Arideva's founded verses on the middle way. When dependent on arising sin, ignorance does not occur. Thus, through all efforts, strive to find this subject. His Holiness the Dalai's rain shower feeds a song of the 4 mindfulnesses as a guide to the view of the middle way. This is 7th Dalai Lama. At the crossroads of the 6 collections of consciousness that have diverse perceptions are seen the hazy dualistic phenomena which are baseless. There is a magical show that is by nature deceptive. Don't believe them to be true, but view them as having the nature of emptiness. Don't let your mind go astray, but place it within the nature of appearance emptiness. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it within the nature of appearance emptiness. The sphere of appearing and existing phenomena is pervaded by the space of the ultimate clear light of suchness. There is an ineffable ultimate reality. View this nature of emptiness through abandoning mental contrivances. Don't let your mind go astray, but place it within the ambience of reality. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it within the ambience of reality. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, let's pray for proliferating the Dhamma to let us know. Marba Lozawa, Shebe Doji, Jesu Medaraba, and so on, the host of the precious Kagyu, the source of the blessings, the chain of the unaccepted masters of this outstanding tradition. To you all I pray, may the Buddha Dhamma of the land of snows blaze forevermore. All phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana are but the radiance of the spontaneous awareness. Awareness itself, devoid of elaborations, is realized in the nature of Dharmakaya. Pervading all existences and appearances of samsara and nirvana is the great Mahamoudra. May the Buddha Dhamma, the land of snows, blaze forevermore. Nagarjuna's in praise of Dharmadhatu. Impermanent, suffering, and empty, these 3 they purify the mind. The Dhamma that is unsurpassed in purifying the mind is the lack of intrinsic nature. Concluding prayer of Lama Tsongkhapa's commentary on Nagarjuna's fundamental wisdom of the middle way. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by Ramajishri and be uphold the Dhamma in general and the teachings on dependent origin in particular, even across my life. Okay, Shri Heruka Satan excerpt, led with folded hands. Shri Heruka, Shri Heruka, Shri Heruka. He is the selflessness of phenomena, the emptiness of the mind, which is the source of everything, as it is imputed to be of causal nature. Ru is the selflessness of the person, the emptiness of the self that is fabricated by the web of conceptual thought that grasps by the self of person. Ka is the ultimate reality, the absence of the dissonant duality of the subject object. Shri is the non-dual exalted wisdom that abides in congruence with the emptiness of this object. This is the meaning of Evam. Okay. Okay. Where to live? Where did we live? Which line?
After the quotes, yeah? As you look at the nature of and the deception. You said clarity in video. You stop at clarity.
Clarity where? Which one? Clarity is vivid.
Yeah, I think you
Clarity is vivid. Oh, okay, good. Thank you. Okay. Let me read the same passage again. As you look at the nature of whatever conceptual thoughts arise. So in this, keeping the same observing mind and you feel that the mind is, the conceptual thoughts stop. It may not stop completely, but stop. You see say something empty there. Empty meaning there are no conceptual thoughts coming, so your thought is like empty. So there, if you look at the nature of whatever conceptual thoughts are, and then in that experience, when the thoughts once in a while when they appear, they disappear on their own and vacuity dawn. So just keep watching this empty space of the mind. Then the conceptual thoughts, they may arise, but don't chase after, nor say reject them. So just let them pass, keep observing this, and conceptual thoughts will disappear on their own, and vacuity dawns, which means they say like just total vacuity, total empty comes to you, no thoughts. So here empty is not emptiness. This empty is the empty of the conceptual thought arising. Similarly, if you investigate when the mind is still, so in this experience, when the mind is still, a non-obstructing and empty clarity is vivid. So there, you see that the number one is empty in ways that no conceptual thoughts arise, and also that you keep observing it. Gradually, this is very tricky part. This is where the same your psychology, alertness of your mind, the freshness of mind in general, and then that your mind is not tired. All these factors combined together, keep observing it, then you'll like this glass. Like this glass, initially you just see that there's nothing there, and then you'll start to see the glass-like clarity within your own mind. The glass-like clarity will come to you. And then sometimes it may not come at all. So sometimes it does come. When it does come, try to stay in this experience. And this is so precious. And it requires lots of merit and all these factors enter. Particularly when you're very tired and you didn't get proper sleep, and they say your food, the nutrition is not adequate, then this experience will be very difficult to come. Once you get this experience, like the glass, okay, if possible, try this. Is what you do also, that after the class in the evenings, you have to go there next to the glass pane, and then you just look at the real empty space where there's no glass versus the glass. Just look at the difference. What do you see? So, what you see, one is totally empty, and there's a glass there. Don't do like that. Just keep observing the difference. In both cases, it's transparent, but with the glass, there's something there. It doesn't have any color. Still, you can see that something is there. So that's something what we call as vividness. This is what you will experience when you observe this mind. Not that just empty, like to open the space without the glass. Not like that. Initially, it's like that. I just keep observing it. Then gradually, you will start to see this, the glass-like, the transparent object there, and that the glass is more like 2D, but this is like 3D. Like a 3D experience of the transparent things, which is so vivid and clear. This come to you. It'll take time. Okay. It is called seeing the stillness. Your mind is still, and the movements are integrated, meaning that, with the stillness, you start to see the clarity there. In this, then in case if the thoughts they come, thoughts coming meaning the movement of the thoughts comes, you are still aware of this under total control of yours. Recognize as movement of the mind whatever conceptual thoughts are generated, and without blocking them, focus on their nature. Just when the thoughts arise, don't block, don't chase after, just keep observing this. And this is similar to the example of the bird that flies from board. The common example given is that say you are on the ship, the boat, or a ship in an ocean, in the middle of the ocean, and then there is a bird in the cage. So the bird wants to, run away from you, escape from you. So what you do is that say, no need for you to catch the bird. Say, no, you stay. Don't have to stay this. Just let it go. Just observe the bird. Let it fly wherever it likes. And the bird will try to run away from you. And will try. You are in the middle of the ocean. The bird cannot stop anywhere. At one point, the bird will feel tired. Because tired, his wings cannot move anymore. So he has to look for a place to sit, rest. Where's the place? Your ship. It'll come back to your ship and rest there. You don't have to tell that stay. It'll stay on its own. Likewise, the thoughts, don't chase after, don't block them, don't chase after, just keep observing this. Of course, you need to gain control over the space, whole space of your mind. Just keep observing it without chasing it. Usually we are so addicted to chasing after the thoughts. When the thoughts arise, you chase after this. Or you block them, you reject them. This is what we usually do. Mostly we chase after thoughts. We ruminate over the thoughts. That's a problem. So today we learn how not to chase after, how not to ruminate or chase after, or how not to reject them. Just keep observing them. For example, this is exactly how the example of the dog that I gave you, example of the bird on the ship, and even even the small children, they draw your attention, they want their attention, and they will pull you. They say harsh words to you, and you say that no, mind your business. You say this, that child is getting your attention, and the child wants your attention. Whereas if you just ignore what the child is saying, just ignore, then the child will try to pull you from right hand. Let him pull. From left hand, let him pull. Eventually the child will feel tired, will stop. So this is how the thoughts will behave. Thoughts will stop on their own. When you don't chase after them, no, you reject them, just keep observing these thoughts and they will subside on their own. Okay. So it says, this is similar to the example of the bird that flies from the boat. As it is said, like the crow that flies off a boat and after circling around it, feels tired and lands on the boat again. Having practiced in this way, the nature of any equipoise is a space of vacuity. So with this, what experiences that conceptual thoughts, they subside and a vacuum is left. The space of vacuity. Since it is unobstructing, lucid, this word, lucid. Lucid has the connotation of what I described as like the glass. There's something there, not totally empty, something is there, but extreme, what we call it, the crystal clear. That's amazing. So when you see this crystal clear nature of the mind, so this crystal clear nature exists in anger, exists in compassion, exists in wisdom, exists in ignorance. With every mind you will see this crystal clear nature. That's the true nature of this mind. So you keep observing this crystal clear nature of, even when your mind is a little dull, sleepy. Some people say that I cannot meditate, I feel so sleepy. Don't worry. If you want to just lie down and observe this mind, what is this sleepy mind is like? Right? If you know, my mind is so distracted. Never mind, let me be distracted and just observe it. How distracted it is. It's beautiful. But when you see this, the what do you call it? Here, the lucidity. The lucid soul. But like clarity is selva and lucid is the tangwa. These were different. It's clear, and the lucid is the glass pane, the vividness and the lucidity. Like the glass pane, there's no color in the air. It's like empty, but something is there. Very clear, crystal clear. The lucidity is there. Okay, unobstructing, lucid, clear. And okay, this requires a little bit of the translation modification. Unobstructed by anything material. This is not unobstructed by anything material. This is this word. Uncompounded by anything material. Uncompounded by anything material, which means that it is unobstructed. It's not obstructed, not obstructed. Okay, so this is uncomposed, non-composed. Is non-composed of anything material. So this lucidity that you're experiencing, there's nothing to do with the material things. It is not composed of material things. It is non-material. This meaning is not that unobstructed. This is the translation, the error. Okay, uncomposed or non-compounded, not compounded by anything material. It is also vivid, since anything can appear. Okay, so this vivid has the connotation of Rikeva. Rikeva meaning very alert. There's alertness there, where so this alertness with this lucidity, there's a total alertness there, and the nature of that is lucidity, where any appearance can happen. It is vivid, since anything can appear. This reality of the mind is indeed perceived directly within sight, but it can't be indicated, grasped, or named. This is just additional translation. You can just delete this. This is additional. It's just the translator's addition. No need. Indicated, but it can't be. This experience of the lucidity of the mind. This cannot. This is this reality of the mind is indeed perceived directly with your insight, your own experience, but it can't be indicated. Nobody can say, okay, now what you are not seeing this lucidity. You have to see like this. No. This is only purely your own experience. If the teacher is really experienced, then he can ask you questions. From the answers that you give, he or she can identify that, okay, you are yet to see that. Okay. It can't be, but it can't be indicated, grasped at as this. This is the lucidity. No, nobody can identify that like this. This only through this gastrointestinal factors. Just follow these steps so well. And keep observing it, not chasing after the thoughts, not rejecting the thoughts, maintaining control of this, maintaining a sense of great alertness there. So, but then gradually you'll start to see this lucidity, which is totally immaterial. It's not made of material things, and this is something which it simply dawns in you gradually. Of course, it depends on many factors. Merit accumulation is so important. Yeah. Okay. These days, so the author, Venerable the great master, Benjalo Sangchukin, so what he's saying that okay, the same experience is described by the other tradition holders, many tradition holders, different tradition holders with different labels. These days, most of the great meditators of the land of snows Tibet, agree that placing the mind in a relaxed manner on whatever dawns, meaning that, so they first maintain the alertness of the mind, and then try to gain control over what's happening to your mind, and then the thoughts they come, they don't ruminate, don't chase after, no reject. Just keep observing them, and gradually they subside. The stillness is created. So with this again, just keep observing it, then the lucidity will come. For example, like the water. Say like the water. Say if it's not too clean, just keep it there, and the sediments will gradually subside if you don't stir it. So chasing the thoughts or rejecting the thoughts, this is like stirring the water. Keep stirring it. The clarity will never come out. The lucidity will never come out. So don't stir it. If it's muddy, keep it there. Just observe it. Still it. Just observe the mind. Let the mind be stilled. As it happens, then the sediments, they subside. The thoughts, they gradually disappear. Okay. And so this experience is what the great meditators, the most of the great meditators will let us know, agree that placing the mind in a relaxed manner, once you get there, just relax your mind and stay there. Manner on whatever dawns without grasping, just let it happen, keep observing it, is renowned as instruction, kindling Buddhahood. It's not kindling, this is the wrong translation. It's not kindling. In Tibetan it is barjang. So the bar has the word, the same word. Bar is bara, like your palm or the hand, and also me barwa, kindle, me barwa. So the person translates as the kindling. This is not the kindling. This is the barjang. It's the grabbing at the Buddhahood directly, not indirectly. Right, just keep observing it, and this is how you grab at the Buddhahood. This is meaning. In other words, the instruction to grab at the Buddhahood. Instruction to grab at the Buddhahood, not kindling. Okay, and yes, it has word-wise, it has two meanings. One is like kindling, one is the grabbing, and then the same author. But it's a simple way me reading is because that this very common word for the native Tibetan speaker. This is very common. Barjang means grab at things like directly, like grab at emptiness directly, grab at your true nature directly, to grab at Buddhahood directly. It's so common, and I wondered how come that translate as kindling. Otherwise, it's a good translation. It's a good translation. Otherwise, I would say overall, it's a very good translation. And then I also double checked with the same author's auto commentary. And the auto commentary is very clearly explained, grabbing with your hands. Okay. So it says that with this meditation, it is like just grabbing at the Buddhahood directly. Yeah. I, Chogi Gyaltsen, I hear the author, Venerable Benji Chogi Gyaltsen, say that for beginners, this is an amazing and skillful method establishing stillness of the mind and a way to introduce the conventional true nature of the mind. Okay. So this is what is advised to be done, and we should be extremely careful. If you really want to do this, we should be really careful to make sure that you make this distinction that, okay, my mind is still very alert, and to see this, what you call as a lucidity, it'll take really long time. It's not that easy. It'll take a long time, and then when you don't find it, like the glass pane, when you don't get it, it may make you feel so demoralized, and then you may think that it is like my mind going to laxity, not getting anything. These things can happen. If you decide to go for this meditation, and if you feel that you start to feel demoralized, don't stay in this demoralized state for too long. The better is go to some other meditation, like say the breathing meditation or the Buddha image meditation, so forth. Once you come out of this thing, gradually you can move to. Meanwhile, the study of the psychology, you try to go for more extensive study of psychology. That will be extremely helpful. And also learn how to keep observing your mind. When you fall asleep, what is happening to your mind? When you feel so tired, what is happening to your mind? When your mind is so fresh, what is happening to your mind? When there's the light there, in the daytime, just keep your eyes open and see how what kind of appearance is happening to your mind. The mind is so full of light, not eyes. Not what appears to the eyes, but to the conceptual mind, to this mental consciousness. For example, you close your eyes, you can see that some veil comes to you and some thoughts come to you. You could feel that. So there is the mental consciousness. It's not the sensory consciousness. With the eyes open or with the eyes closed, in both cases, you see that in the mental consciousness that there's some light there. And then when everything's so dark, like in the night where there's no source of light at all, again you try to observe, what's going to your mind. Your mind, you can see some kind of veil, thick. The veil of the darkness is there. So just learn how to observe your mind. Observe your mind. And then when you gain some command over this, when you see this, and one that we should be so alert. So for example, when you are very fresh and it's so dark, just observe what kind of appearances come to your mind. Not just the thoughts. Not the thoughts. Okay, when the thoughts come, that's the different story. After keeping aside the thoughts, so what's the appearance like? Like dark. Then in the daytime, what's the appearance like? It's little light. So external factors, they affect your consciousness. But the reality is that be dark. That is also because it's a reflection of the darkness happening in the mind. Mind per se is colorless. It doesn't have color. But you see dark, there's color there. This is reflection of this is not the mind. This is a reflection on the mind. And in the daytime, you see light. Even with the eyes closed, you can see light. Even this light is not the mind, it's the reflection on the mind. So what's the real mind? So real mind, because it can take the form of darkness, light, blue, red, green, any color. What's the true nature of this color? Guess. Colorless. Only if it is colorless, it can assume any color. You agree with me? Only if it's colorless. Then you can gradually sense that, that should be colorless. But that is coming to you intellectually, not experientially. This intellectual understanding that, it can assume any color. Say why? Sometimes, for no reason, you will say when you're about to fall asleep. When you're about to fall asleep, you can see that the pink circles come, and then they gradually become bigger, sometimes smaller. And again, no more pink colors or red colors, they come. Sometimes blue colors come. When that happens, you're about to fall asleep. Okay, so just observe this. So from this you see that different colors come, which means that any color in its true form, pure blue, pure red, pure yellow, pure white, pure black, pure whatever color, which means the true nature of the mind itself is colorless. If it is of color, the moment you have the other colors, you do not see the real color. If the glass is blue, and then you put it on the yellow cloth, yellow and the yellow light and the blue, which is the glass, and the yellow from outside mix, you'll see green. So you don't see the real color, you see the defiled color, affected color. But whereas in the mind, you see the blue is blue, green is green, any color, which means that the true color of the mind itself is colorless. This is what you know intellectually. So this intellectual experience, in this, just observing it, wow, although I'm seeing this as a blue, dark, white, whatever, it's a capacity to have any image, which means the true color of that is colorless. You get it, just intellectually you understand, yes, the true color is colorless, and you get some idea that it's colorless. you will have tickling sensations coming in the body. That your mind is becoming subtler. As the mind becomes subtler, the indications are like, you get some tickling sensations. You would feel that. Okay. So this is so important. And whereas with this practice, I would say that the best thing is, don't start with this practice. Start with some simpler practice, like breathing meditation. Try to gain a good command. Try to get a good command of the breathing meditation or the Buddha image meditation. You get a good command of meditation. Once you get that, slowly, meanwhile, study psychology, try to expand this knowledge, learn how to observe your mind. With all these things intact, then if you want to do this meditation, do it. Okay. So with this, you get this, the true nature of mind. And then what happens is like the water, just still it. You see that, okay, now I've seen this lucidity of my mind. And just steady in this experience. Just keep observing it. Keep observing it. It is like the water. Water, just keep it there without stirring it. Without stirring it. If you stir it, again, the murkiness comes. Without stirring, keep it there. And the clarity will become more clarity increases. It becomes more and more clear. Clarity dawns. So likewise, your mind will become clearer. You will see this lucidity will become clearer, and more stable in your mind. So whenever you want to see this, you can see this. When you're angry, you see this, you will see this. So at times, in the Dzogchen practice, it's also said that this awareness, Rigpa, this awareness is present in all moments of your mind. Afflictions, even the afflictions have this awareness quality. So this lucidity that you see even when you're angry or when you are afflicted, like jealous, attachment, and so forth. You observe this mind. You can see this lucidity there within you, within the same afflictions. Okay. So once you see this, then your job is to sustain it. Sustain it, and the clarity like the water. It says clean water. Yes, it's very clean, right? But it can still be more clean. What we see as clean water, subject this to further purification process. In fact, it says that, I don't know, is there anybody who knows the unit of the purity of the water? What do you call it? So there's some unit there, I don't know. But so they say that it's like, if it is, say, the 50 unit, drinkable. 50 to like 70, 60, 80 is drinkable. And then like 200, not drinkable. It's very dirty. And then there's some water to wash the computer parts. To wash the computer parts, the water should be extremely pure. If you drink it, you will have diarrhea problem. It's too pure, too clean, that your body cannot take it. It's too clean. So my friend in Singapore, he told me about this, the water. The water that he uses, he runs a company to wash the computer parts. And the water that he uses, he's talking about some micron size. He's talking about the size of the water, size of the different particles. So they should be the size of this micron. And even the air in that room where the washing happens, even the air, they come from the ceiling, from some holes there in the ceiling. And he said even the air, you cannot go like this and keep the door open, because the air outside, there are so many particles, different particles of the air. They can affect the water in the air. So the water to be used to clean this computer box should be so clean, extremely clean. I don't know, maybe like 10, 5 unit. Whereas for drinking, 50 to like 60, 70, 80 is fine. Then more than that, it's not too good for your body. It's very dirty. Okay. So just also you see it clean, but still it can be more clean. Likewise, our mind see the lucidity of this mind. Then you see that just keep observing and observing and do practice, and the lucidity will increase in the intensity. Okay, this is one part. So this will help us to activate the subjective clear light. Then once you are in this level, there's nothing more. Just continuous practice is how to make this water cleaner. Say, for example, the dirty water from from a stream. You keep it there, just let it settle down. If you don't have the cleaning processes, like purification process, the other processes, just let it settle. The more you keep it there, the more settled it will be. So likewise, our mind just continues to practice, and the subjective clear light will become more and more clear, more and more lucid. Okay, so our job is what? To manifest the subjective clear light, and then let the subjective clear light see the objective clear light. This is the meaning of the bringing the unity of the subjective clear light and the objective clear light. How to bring the unity? First, you have the both. Now you already have the subjective clear light. That is the single point of meditation part, just observing it, placing your mind on this, the lucidity. So that is the single point of meditation. Now comes the searching the view. Searching the view. So first establish your the subjective clear mind on the basis of the single point meditation, followed by searching the view. So this is tradition which is being followed here. But in that case, it's not that where till this clear mind is activated, you don't look for the view. No. So while you practice this, you also alongside you can practice the emptiness. Okay. So emptiness. Not just the emptiness of anything else, but the emptiness of this mind. This is even more difficult, right? So we have how many more classes we have now? Tomorrow 2 classes. Yes. Day after tomorrow 3 classes, including NCC. Tomorrow.
3 classes, and day after tomorrow 3 classes as well, including NCC.
Okay, 6 classes. Then the next.
Monday.
Okay, Monday is 8. Okay, Monday morning we have the talk. Okay. So we have total 6 classes. 6 classes, 2 NCC classes, which is the emptiness. And okay, now this says not just emptiness of the mind. It's okay. First, that's fine. And we will explain this, and then we'll also take part in the NCC emptiness class. So it'll help us complement. In fact, the reason why I asked the Tibetos NCC class, the Nalanda Studies coordinator, for more class on emptiness for them, is for this class. Because that we're also doing emptiness, and then they will also benefit. So we have 2 extra the NCC class today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow also. Yes. Okay. Okay, first let us read some of these parts. So up to this point is actualizing the clear light mind, subjective clear light mind. Next is to actualize the objective clear light. Don't say objective clear light mind. Second part is objective clear light. One is the subjective clear light or the subjective clear light mind. But the second one is just emptiness. Emptiness of the subject clear light, emptiness of the mind, which you have manifested in the form of subjective clear light. So the second one is just the objective clear light. Don't say objective clear light mind. Second one is not mind. Second one is objective clear light, which is just the emptiness, ultimate reality. Second one, do you get it? Subjective clear light and objective clear light. Which is mind? Subjective clear light, that is the mind, and the objective clear light is not a mind, is the ultimate reality. Ultimate reality, which is non-composite phenomena. Objective clear light, or the ultimate reality, is a non-composite phenomena, which we are learning now. Okay, we'll read this. Recognizing the ultimate reality to the mind. Ultimate reality, that's the objective clear light. The mind, which mind? This subjective clear light, not in other mind. But you can meditate on the emptiness of the mind in general, emptiness of anger, emptiness of compassion. But what's expected here is emptiness, subjective clear light, which you've manifested. Okay, ready? Recognize the ultimate reality to the mind. As for the way to introduce the reality to the mind, which means the ultimate reality to the mind, I, the author, Venerable Benji Losang Chuyin, will record the oral instruction of my root guru. He is the pristine wisdom of all Buddhas, who assumed the aspect of a saffron-robed monk and removed the darkness of my confused mind. Okay, how is it done? From within that very state of early equipoise. What is the early equipoise? Say, you are in a meditative state, observe your mind, and you have seen the lucid mind. You have seen the lucid mind. Okay, now this is what mind is. Okay. Once in a while, okay, there are little additions here and there. Once in a while, when you do meditate like this, to observe your mind, as I said earlier, yes, you may feel really demoralized, not seeing anything. And you're sitting like this for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, not seeing anything. What am I doing? Right? You can really feel demoralized. Under such situations, sometimes what you can do is that keep your eyes open, and then when you perceive that there's nothing really there, just see the difference between this. Keep your eyes open and close eyes. See what is the difference in your mind. There should be something common between the two. And there's also a difference. What is that common? The mind. The mental consciousness is there in both cases. What's the difference? One is light, one is dark. Which means that what's the true color of this mind which I should be seeing? It should be the colorless. So this will help you to reinforce your conviction that, okay, I'm not really going to blank, that I'm seeing something. Okay, number one. Number two, that once in a while, say, when I'm with my eyes open, when the thoughts are not coming in me, it's strange that what is in front, with your eyes open, what is in front of you, this is what is bound to dominate your mind. The clock, the flower, the color of the cloth on the table, they will dominate your mind. Okay, when that happens, instead of seeing the lucidity here, same, with the glass there, with the glass pane, you look at it, what is behind that? What do you see behind the glass pane? And those of us here, Guillaume, what do you see behind that glass pane? You see Guillaume, there's a glass pane there? Behind that, what do you see? Trees, the leaves, they are so gross. And the glass which is in between is so subtle. You don't see the glass. You see the trees and so forth. Right? Okay. So with this, what is happening is, okay, simply because the clock comes to my mind, to my mind. Appearance of the flower comes. Appearance of the cloth comes to my mind. I don't see the flower. I don't see the mind. I don't see lucidity. It's all because that these are so gross. These are so gross that I couldn't see this. But keep observing this glass. Focus on the glass. Focus on the glass, and gradually you will start to see the glass. Okay, this is what you have to do after the class. You must try this. You must try this. Say, if it is too close, you will see the glass. But keep a little distance, then you will not see the glass. And you keep observing. Even if you do know that, oh, there's a glass there, keep observing it, then the appearance of the glass will become more and more vivid to you. So likewise, with this, when you feel really demoralized, then the one thing is just keep your eyes open, close, open. Just observe. Say there's some kind of light is what you are seeing. Radiance of light. Then close your eyes. Again, there's some radiance of the darkness is happening. Keep observing that. What is light? Again, close your eyes. You will see some kind of radiance pervaded by the darkness. You are seeing that. Okay. So with this you will deduce that, okay, what's the real color of the mind? That is colorless. Okay, so that is what I should be seeing. So this will help you, uplift your morale, uplift your spirit. And then at times, you can also do like, with eyes open. Think of the Buddha image. Once in a while, think of the Buddha image. So the Buddha comes to us. But this Buddha, of course, is not your eye consciousness. So although the flower is so vivid to you, the flower dominates your eyes. But the Buddha image, yes, I can see the Buddha image. That is purely happening on the mental consciousness, not on the sensory consciousness. So there, now I'm this mental consciousness, yes. So although my mind is so dominated by this visual object, but there's something there, what is happening on the mental consciousness, also what I'm seeing. But it's not the mind, it's not the mental consciousness, but it's to do with the mental consciousness. So with this, then where is this reflection happening? Where is this image of the Buddha happening? And gradually you will see something like 3D, like light. Light. There's also not the mind, because the mind doesn't have the white color. But that's very helpful. You'll get a conviction that, okay, now I'm touching the mental consciousness, not the sensory consciousness. And keep doing this, then you will start to see gradually, once in a while, you'll see the lucidity there. Some like a glass pane there, you'll see this. So that means when you reach to that level, your mind becomes subtler. Okay, this is what you're expected to meditate and to continue with this. Okay, whereas if you find it, it's not as easy as how I explained to you, and with some extended period, don't continue with this. Better switch to something else to prepare yourself to do it successfully later on. Okay. So let's say now let's say that you have seen your mind. You have seen the lucidity of your mind. So with this, now you have to see the emptiness of this mind. If you don't see the emptiness of this mind, so this mind can you can lash onto the mind, and that is again samsara. So you have to see the emptiness of this mind. How see the emptiness of this mind? It says, recognize the second paragraph, from within the very state of earlier equipoise. So in this meditation, emptiness, and in the meditation of this lucidity of your mind, equipoise, investigate intelligently, which with subtle awareness. Okay, so this is a beautiful statement made here. So let's say that the water is extremely lucid, very calm, serene, and the fish inside moves. The fish moves without disturbing the water. You agree? Fish moves without disturbing. Likewise, without disturbing your basic framework of your meditation, of observing the mind, from the corner of your mind, like a fish moving, you analyze, you do the analysis. Fish moves. Your mind also moves, but not disturbing the basic framework of your meditative equipoise of this awareness of the awareness. So it says, from within the very state of the early equipoise, investigate intelligently with subtle awareness the essence. So essence, go for the nature. So here it says essence. Are you following me? Page 125, the last paragraph. From within that very state of early equipoise, investigate intelligently with subtle awareness. What to analyze? The essence of the individual. Instead of essence, the nature of the individual. The nature. So these two are very close, essence and nature, but there's a difference there. Okay. It is Rangshin. Essence is condition Yingbo. So nature is Rangshin. Nature is better. Then try to analyze the nature of the individual who is meditating. Example, just like a small fish that moves in lucid waters without causing any disturbance to the water. Okay, what kind of analysis? What kind of analysis should we engage in? So, what it is taught here? First, analyze the emptiness of the self, the person, followed by the emptiness of the mind. With the person, the emptiness of the person is easier. Then, you go into the emptiness of the subject of clear light. Arya Nagarjuna himself stated, Precious Garland, individual, the person is not earth, which we read just now. Individual or the person is not earth, is not water, is not fire, not wind, not space, is not awareness, it is not all of these, yet what individual is there other than these? So, as the meditation emphasis which we used to do every morning, see that the self, I'm nothing, I'm just made of the 6 elements, right? Okay, if you have a feeling, so here I think it may be easier that some people they have a feeling that there is some the soul, like an atma, different from the part which is the self, very different from the 6 elements. If somebody does believe in this, I don't want to reject it. I'll not touch this part. What I'm talking about is that I'm talking about the empirical self. I'm happy, I'm not happy, this self. Right? So whereas the belief in this comes with the soul or the Atma in the context of the men of the classical Indian philosophy schools. So they say that this Atman, the soul is permanent. Permanent means it doesn't change. Pain, happiness, no, it's permanent. So that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about so whether it exists or not, I'm not going to reject it. What I'm talking about is that person who feels pain, who feels happy. That person does not exist objectively. It does exist, but it does not exist objectively. How? What you say as person is nothing but 6 elements. We have the body, element, the solid part, element earth, element water, the blood, 4 liters of blood, element of fire, the body heat, element of the air, 4.6 liters of air that we breathe in and out through your lungs. The element of consciousness, that I'm happy, not happy, this consciousness which feels that. So just these 6 elements, that's it. And which of the 6 elements is this person? None. And then, if none of these 6 elements to be identified as them, okay. In the first place, let's say that it's already 12:35. Okay, since we've been doing this meditation every day, I'll quickly summarize it. That's easy. Now, first, what we do is that first in the class, the NCC class, we'll explain in more detail. So this self, how does this I appear to you? Like a dream? Pressured by your mind? Oh no, nothing to do with my mind. Is so independent there. Of course, it appears, it exists, it appears as so independent there. So that belief that the self exists as truly real, that is self-grasping ignorance. That is ignorance. So how do you evaluate that? Okay, if the mirage, if the mirage were to be the water, or not one sees the water as you closer towards the mirage. Likewise, if the self were to exist objectively, object, subject, the self and the mind which sees the self, that's the subject, and the self is the object, then you go close to the object. The mind which goes closer to the object is known as ultimate analysis. Going closer to the object, like going closer to the mirage, the water disappears, there's no water there. Going closer to the object, what do you see? You see just 6 elements. These parts, these are not the self. And then different from the 6 elements, remove the 6 elements, what is there as self? Nothing is left there. So from the object, where is the self? From the object. There's no self to be identified from the object. Once we see that, there's nothing to be identified as a self. From the object, stay in this experience. From the object is empty. For example, you see that from distance, from these windows, you see somebody in this hall. You think there's a robber in the hall. You come here, you open the door, you see nothing there. Okay. Or the robber is not here. Robber is not here. It's empty. The robber is empty here. Stay there. Likewise, the objective self is empty. Objective self is nowhere to be found. Stay in this experience. That is emptiness of this self. So just as self disappears in this ultimate analysis, then you may think that, yes, the self is not there, but the elements are there. Elements are there, right? So, if you subject the way that manner in which we subject the self to this ultimate analysis and self disappears, you subject anything else to the same analysis, they cannot sustain it. Say, even so within you, the 6 elements, particularly what would you pick up? Do you agree with me that each one of us, we have the skeleton? Do we have or not? How many of you have the skeleton here within you? Raise your hands. Okay, what is that skeleton like? Is that beautiful or is it very scary? Very scary. It's like this, right? So the mouth is so nice, but inside the skeleton it's not nice. It's like this. It's very scary. Very scary, right? Very scary. If you see the skeleton coming like this, we'll run away, right? But it's within each one of us. It is there. It is there, actually. It's very there. Just imagine that. Yes, it's there. Oh, but although the self is not there, but the skeleton is there. 6 elements are there. Skeleton is there. Now look at the skeleton. Even the skeleton, believe it or not, the skeleton has a specific shape which makes us feel so repulsive. In the night, if the skeleton comes, very scary, right? So this skeleton, which seems so scary, this skeleton is nothing but of millions, trillions of atoms. And none of the atoms is skeleton. Because this skeleton is made of bone cells. Yes? Yes? This skeleton is made of bone cells. And the cells, bone cells are made of mitochondria, chromosomes, then all these the smaller parts of these cells. And this chromosome is again made of DNA molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. In other words, this skeleton which looks so scary is nothing, bunch of atoms, that's it. None of the atoms is skeleton. When you see it on the atomic level, the fear that you see of the skeleton, that fear dissolves. It's just a self-creation. You just create the image of the skeleton and then it scares you. No, it's just a bunch of atoms, that's it. On that level, even the skeleton dissolves. And just as the self dissolves in the experience of ultimate analysis, even the skeleton also dissolves in the experience of ultimate analysis. Anything that we subject this to ultimate analysis, they all dissolve. So it says that the first stanza is about the emptiness of the self. Then you may say, yes, the self is not there, but the elements are there. If the elements also they dissolve in the same analysis, it says, Arya Nagarjuna, page 125, the last line, Arya Nagarjuna himself stated in Precious Garland, individual is not earth, individual meaning the person. The person is not earth, not water, not air, not wind, not space. It is also not consciousness, awareness. It is also not all of these. What person is there other than these? Okay. You mean, okay, now the person is not there, but the aggregates are there. Second line says, even the aggregates are also empty of object reality. Self is there. Don't say that self is not there. Self is there. That the self does not exist. It is not there objectively. Likewise, the elements are also not there objectively. Just as the individual or the self is not real because it is composed of the 6 elements. Likewise, each of the elements themselves are not real because they are themselves composed of further the parts. Okay. When having investigated according to this statement, you find not even an atom of the equipoise of the practitioner, and the equipoise and the practitioner who enters into the meditated equipoise. So at that point, when you see that even the meditator is also objectively empty, even the meditation itself is also empty of objective existence. So what you see the emptiness, the vacuum, the person dissolves, is empty. So sustain this space like emptiness, space like equipoise, single-pointedly and without distraction. Just stay in this experience. Okay, we'll stop here. Yeah. Tirtha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata